What's up, everybody? Glad to be back out here. The weather's finally turned. The cold weather is finally on the downhill. The warm weather is creeping up over the horizon each and every day. The days are getting longer. Things are looking up. And it's time to put some work in outside to make sure that we have beautiful harvests this year. Now, as you can see, Burrow is putting some work in. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Like the video. Stick around. We're going to have a bunch of stuff going on this summer and this fall and the rest of this year. We're going to try to maximize our input for our, I think this is a 1/16 of an acre plot that we have here. So we are in the middle of a urban setting, as you will probably hear things in the background, and it's okay. You make do with what you have, and that's it. You don't complain, you just keep it moving. So let's get to it. What we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be planting a fruit tree. It's time to get it in. We got some buds on it. I just picked it up. I have multiple. I have a mini orchard, so to speak, if you want to. Not too many plants, but have one that needs transplanted. Let me show you how I like to do it. And here's my mini orchard. And as you can see, I just mainly chopped up some 55-gallon barrels, flipped them upside down, and planted my fruit trees. And you're probably wondering, why wouldn't you just plant them in the ground? Well, I don't plan on living in this property too much longer. I plan on selling this place and getting out of here. Nonetheless, I want to take these with me. So we will see how they do. Plus, I don't really want to mess this ground up or you see the house next door. I mean, we're congested right here. I don't want to mess up any piping or anything like that by putting these trees in the ground and allowing them to root all over the place and possibly cause some destruction. So we stuck them in the 55-gallon barrels, and they've done great so far. And if you look, we have some strawberry plants that are taking off now that the weather's warmed up. Beautiful, nice, healthy green. I came in and I fertilized about a month ago before these started to wake up, the strawberry crowns. And this is an apple tree, I believe. This is my Candy Crisp. And these are from Lowe's from years ago. I've had this tree probably 3 years now inside of here, and it's been doing great. Starting to bud out. It's been trimmed. It's been trained. You want your branches at a 45 to 60 degree angle to maximize, not to maximize your fruit, but to inhibit or enhance more fruit production versus leaf. If you have a vertical like this one, this is more vertical. This is going to focus on vegetative growth. A more lateral, like right here, one that's straight lateral, horizontal, these will focus on fruit more. Like this one. This is about what I like right here. Perfect. This is a little bit more than what I like, but I'll take that. That's perfect. But this is how you grow an apple tree. This is a central leader, and you scaffold from that. I cut it right here. One of these will take over as the main leader, and I will branch these out as a layer of scaffolding to produce the fruit. Moving over, same scenario. This one is a snow sweet, and I've taken care of it the same. This one is a year younger, so I've had this one for 2 years. Should produce some fruit this year. Moving over, this is not in a 55-gallon, but in a big, I think 30-gallon or a 20 gallon. It's a 20 gallon, excuse me. And you can see the squirrels just do devastation in here, looking for nuts that they've buried. I'm gonna have to do something to deter that. And this is a Macintosh. And same thing, I've had this one for 2 years. Moving over. Now this is in a 55 gallon, cut in half. And these are still tied up. That way they don't move in the wind, because we do get some heavy winds. And this is a Clapp's favorite pear. So pear tree, so we have apples, pears, and similarly, central leader, a modified central leader. Cut it, allow this one to take over as the central leader, and then you scaffold from the central leader where you want your fruit. And you can see these are already producing flowers. Looking great. Coming over, same thing. This is a pear, a D'Anjou, or however you want to pronounce that. You guys want to let me know in the comments. Another beautiful plant, same scenario, modified central leader. You scaffold from that. Nice and healthy. Now I have had that pear tree a little bit longer. This is a plum tree. I have one strawberry plant left in there. I took the rest of them out. I had probably 4 or 5 in there, but I took them out last year, replanted them somewhere else. This is a plum, a Stanley plum, I do believe, and this is a stone fruit. Now, how you do a stone fruit is you cut out the center and you create a vase, open center. So you scaffold from there, and you can see as this grows and gets leaves and leaves out, the center here is going to be open, and it's going to allow light penetration. And you can see I've tied these down over the years. I've had this tree probably 4 years. No, yeah, for about 4 years. This will be the 4th year I've had it in this. So it is real nice and sturdy. It's gotten a lot thicker since I've had it. Nice scaffold. This is healed over real nice and well. And from there, it's going to be a real nice. Hopefully I get some plums off of it this year. And moving over to our last one, and the one that we're going to be working on today, is a peach tree. I just picked this up. And yes, I did pick this up from Lowe's. Beautiful little peach tree. And this one's budding out real nice. And this is not a modified central leader. This is just a central leader. Has not been modified. It's just growing. And it's scaffolded from there. But this is beautifully scaffolded on its own. Has not really had any training whatsoever. And that's beautiful. I think I'm going to just leave it as it is. And I'm going to stick this thing in the 55 gallon, cut in half. So this is roughly 22 gallons, 25 gallons maybe, once we put this in here, because you got to think it's about 2 inches lower. So it's probably about 22 gallons of actual dirt, which you can see this thing is small. Lift it out. Like, makes an imprint. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of upgrading that those roots are going to be able to do. A lot of exploration, a lot of growth. That should suffice for a couple of years, and obviously it has worked. I got apples off of them last year, them 2 far ones last year. This one, the one in the not 55 gallon, I did not get any apples off of yet, and I have not gotten any pears. One pear I had, one pear I just bought last year. The plum, I haven't gotten a plum off of it yet, and this will be the 4th year, so hopefully we can get that. And the peach. So, and we have a bunch of fruit. All of these are grapes. These are blueberries, grape, fig, blackberries, raspberries, more grapes. You got Burrow having fun. So let's get to work. Let me show you what I do. Close. Now what I'll do, so level it out to where it's good. Now I'm going to add my nutrients and stuff. First thing I'm going to add in, nice big scoop of manure compost. If you're not willing to get your hands dirty, you're not going to be willing to be a good gardener. Got to be willing to get your hands dirty. Now moving on to our organic fertilizer. Now I've just picked this up at any big box store. Particularly I got this one at Lowe's. Pretty cheap, 13, 14 bucks. And as long as your NPK ratio is similar, 444, 533, 463, anywhere close to each other, 555, you should be good. A little handful. Sprinkle directly in. Then move on to my special ingredient, bone meal. Bone meal is high in phosphorus and calcium, which is good for root growth. Nice big handful, nice little dusting. I keep it in here so it doesn't get wet once you open the bags up because they're hard to kind of fill, and then the moisture from the humidity and shit will kind of ruin it. So bone meal, secret weapon. We'll come back to this in a second. Give it just a nice little mix. Give our plants a little tap. Let's get that fell in there. There we go. As you can see, it's got some roots going on. Let's kind of break them up a little bit. Just a little. Just enough to encourage the roots to grow outward. I don't want to do that much damage because this tree is starting to bloom, or starting to get ready to bloom. So now I'm going to look at the orientation. That looks about good to me. Nope. Yep, right there. Perfect. Break up these surface roots just a little bit, same way I did underneath. It'll encourage them to grow outward into the new soil. All right. Okay, work the soil. Allow it to cave in any cavities around. Put in some more if you need. I think we're gonna fill this up a little bit. There we go. Now, We're going to come back to our all-purpose. Now this is organic fertilizer. This is not readily available for the plant. So when you're putting these in, the plant is not taking up these nutrients anytime soon. These have to be broken down by the soil's microbiology. Once that happens, the plants can uptake it. So until then, this is going to be breaking down. Now, the last thing I'm going to add is about 1 inch of compost. And you can make your own compost. You can use mushroom. You don't have to use manure compost. Compost is compost. And this should provide a nice bit of nitrogen, among other trace minerals and nutrients and stuff, for the plant for this year. And I will periodically come through here and blast them with a little bit of liquid synthesized synthetic nutrients, water-soluble nutrients, if you will. Those are readily available. If you use water-soluble nutrients, those are broken down to the molecular level that the plants can uptake. So when you water those in, the plants can immediately uptake them. These are organic dry amendments. Once you amend your soil, the microbiology in the soil needs to break them down. There's often a debate between organic or synthetic. Which should you use? To clear the air, they are the same exact molecule. They break down to the same compounds. Just one takes, actual biology and microbiology and nature to take its course to create those compounds versus man-made. But they do break down to the same thing. The plant does not know the difference. The plant only takes up the nutrients. It does not know if they're water soluble or if they're organic, because they break down to the same compounds. So the plant doesn't have any idea, it just takes up the nutrients. So there's no difference really, just a difference in how they have came up with those. But they are, in fact, the same chemical compounds. So it's just preference, really. Now that we've got that done, looks great. The very last thing that I'm going to do is we want to keep this moist. So I'm going to stick some mulch on here, and the mulch that I like to use is just some regular straw hay you get from any big box store. That's fine. So I'm going to put some mulch on here, about a 2-inch layer just above the rim here, just to keep this moist. And then the last thing that I'll do is I'll water it, just to give it a little bit of a head start on all of the microbes, to inoculate the dry amendments that we put in here. They require water to start the breakdown process. So it's supposed to rain tomorrow. It's supposed to rain for like the next 3 days, but I do want to give them just a little bit of water to give them a head start. So let me do that. Got my straw. There we go. And come in. A little splash of water. Kick off that inoculation process. Water real good where the tree roots are. And there you have it. Nice peach tree planted. And there we go. Fully done. Now, I fibbed. I did have to come in, tie it to my fence here. Since this is a new tree, not freshly rooted in here at all, has not been rooted whatsoever, so it is vulnerable to topping over. So, gave it a tie to over here, and then I gave it a tie to over there. Kind of holds it from two different angles, so now it will not blow over. And if I had not mentioned yet, this is the Red Haven peach. Beautiful. Now, peaches generally do not need cross-pollination. And also, I want to mention this plum tree. I had not realized that I didn't have a cross-pollinator for it. Stupid. This whole time, I did not realize that this did not have a pollinator. Needs to be cross-pollinated or it doesn't produce any fruit. No wonder. Duh. Can't believe I brain farted that. I guess when I went to go buy one of these extra apple trees, I ended up getting 3 apple trees instead of an extra plum. So what I did just now is I just now ran to my local Lowe's, try to find a plum tree. Did not have one. Went to Home Depot, did not have a plum tree. So I'm kind of caught in a crossfire here where I'm stuck with a plum tree that's not going to pollinate and not give me anything until I get a pollinator for it. So, oh well, at least I figured that out. This peach tree is ready to go. She got watered, she's tied down, and since I went to go grab that plum and there wasn't nothing, I grabbed a cherry tree. So I pulled me a opposite of George Washington and I went and bought me a cherry tree instead of cut one down. So I got this. This is a sweetheart cherry. Cherries do need to be cross-pollinated, so I will have to get a variety, and they give you a list of the varieties that are good for the cross-pollination for this variety here. But just as long as you get 2 different varieties, they should cross-pollinate just fine. And as you can see, I came in, filled this up with the remaining dirt that I had left over in that wheelbarrow, and I just set it down in there. It'll sit there for about a week or so until I get me another little thing of dirt mixed up. Then I'll put that in there, do the same thing you just watched me do to this peach tree. Damn train. All right, that's the update on this. Next thing I'm going to be doing is planting some tomatoes, planting some potatoes, planting some things like that, getting everything going. All right, appreciate you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one. We also have our fruit tree set up, our mini orchard, so to speak. That's the bad part about urban living when you're trying to garden and do YouTube videos, ladies and gentlemen.